The Montgomery house smells like pine and cinnamon, but it also smells a little strange, like old medicine or a hospital. I stand in the middle of the big, fancy living room. My fingers are holding a cream-colored gift box with a soft, shiny ribbon wrapped around it. I can't stop looking at what's inside. But before I continue, hit the subscribe button and tell me where are you watching this from, and what time of day is it. Inside the box is a lifetime VIP membership to an app called Last Chance Love. The app is made for people over 30 who really want to find someone to date. Under that is a big, heavy book with shiny gold letters on the cover. The title is How to Find Happiness When You Die Alone. The fire is crackling in the fireplace behind me. Its warm orange and yellow light dances across the marble walls. Outside, snow is falling thick and soft, covering the garden like a fluffy white blanket. But inside, the cold doesn't come from the snow. It comes from the people in the room. Callista giggles. Her laugh is high and sharp, like glass breaking. I saw it on TikTok, my sister says, her voice pretending to be sweet. The reviews were amazing. 5 stars for women who don't want regular dating anymore. I don't look at her. I just stare at the pink card from the app. On it is a sad, wilting flower, meant to show women like me. Women they think are finished or done for. Take it, dear, my mom says. Serenella Montgomery sits stiffly on the fancy white sofa. Sitting so straight she looks like a statue carved from marble. Callista is just worried about your future. Don't let your pride make you a spinster forever. My dad doesn't say a word. Thaddeus Montgomery stands near the bar, holding a glass of bourbon. He's staring at it like it might tell him secrets, but he doesn't even glance at me. Octavian Sterling, my dad's business partner, sits in a leather chair, looking uncomfortable. Alastair Sterling, Callista's fiancé, is staring at his phone, pretending he's very busy. I close the gift box slowly. My hands are steady, but inside my chest feels like something is cracking. It's been 8 months. 8 months since I sent the wedding invitations. 8 months since I spent 3 nights at my dining table in Austin picking the perfect cards and tying velvet ribbons on them. The cards were thick and heavy, the kind that feel fancy when you hold them. Nate watched me from the doorway with his arms crossed. Are you sure you don't need to call them? He asked, worried. They're my parents, I said, tying another ribbon into a perfect bow. They wouldn't miss this. I remember sitting at my wedding, waiting for them. The chairs in the front row were empty, one for my dad, one for my mom. I had even painted little wooden signs with daisies on them because my mom once said she liked daisies. That was 7 years ago, but I remember. They forgot. Well, Callista leans forward on the sofa, her blonde hair falling perfectly over one shoulder. Her big engagement ring catches the firelight, sparkling like a star. Aren't you going to say thank you? I want to scream. I want to run out the big oak doors and fly back to Austin, where Nate is probably heating up leftover Thai food and worrying about me. But I'm too tired to run. I've been running my whole life. Octavian clears his throat. Maybe we should move on to dinner, he says, trying to sound neutral. The caterers have everything ready. Callista's smirk gets bigger. She thinks she's won. But this time, something inside me doesn't break. Something snaps. Not my heart, it has been breaking in this house for years. No, it's something harder. The chains I've been dragging for 29 years. The ones called good daughter and second best, and maybe if you try harder. I look at Callista. She sees something in my face she doesn't recognize. Something cold and final. Thank you, Callista, I say. My voice is calm and smooth. I tuck the box under my arm like it's evidence because that's exactly what it is. Serenella frowns. Zeraphine, don't be dramatic. It's just a thoughtful gift. I smile. Oh, I know. Very thoughtful. Very valuable. My dad finally looks at me. Zeraphine. His voice is the same warning tone he used when I was 16. The tone that meant, don't make a scene. Don't embarrass us. Don't exist too loudly. Yes, Dad. He opens his mouth, closes it, and turns back to his bourbon. Alastair Sterling stands suddenly. I need some air, he mutters and walks toward the French doors. Callista's smile finally cracks. Alastair, it's freezing out there. He hesitates, feels the cold wind, then comes back inside with a sigh. But he's gone for a moment, and I understand something. He's uncomfortable. He should be. Anyone with a heart would be. Octavian gestures to the dining room. The chandelier above the table makes diamond patterns on the white tablecloth. My mom taps her spoon on her glass. The sound cuts through the quiet like a knife. Before we start, she says loudly, I want to toast this very special season, the year of the bride. Callista sits up straighter, smiling like she's been waiting for this her entire life. My youngest daughter, my mom continues, pointing at Callista, will be married this February in a big, modern royal-style wedding. 300 guests. The ballroom at the Four Seasons. A dress that took 6 months to design. Alistair shifts nervously. Octavian studies his salad fork like it's a priceless artifact. Callista has always known how to do things properly, my mom says, and the word properly hits me like a slap. My dad lifts his glass in agreement. He hasn't looked at me all evening. I start eating my steak. The knife cuts through easily, but my hand feels stuck to it. My mother is about to perform, I think. Callista says, "But what about you, Zeraphine? You're almost 30. You can't plan to live with plants forever, can you?" The room goes quiet. Even the caterers seem frozen. "When is it your turn?" my mom asks. I feel Alistair's eyes glance at me and away. Octavian clears his throat, but says nothing. Callista leans forward like she's trying to be interested, but I know better. She wants me to crumble, to make excuses, to say I'm busy or haven't found someone. I put down my fork. "I'm not single, Mother," I say calm. She blinks. "Excuse me? You've been married for 8 months." My mom's face shows 3 emotions fast: confusion, disbelief, rage. "You secretly eloped in Vegas, didn't you?" she yells. "No, I didn't," I say. Callista looks pale, but she quickly recovers. "Are you making up stories to ruin my engagement party?" she asks. "You've always been jealous of me, Zeraphine, but this is pathetic even for you." She grabs Alistair's arm. "You send invitations?" my dad asks. His face is red, a vein in his temple popping. "Why didn't you call? You did this on purpose to embarrass us in front of the Sterlings." And then I realized the truth. They didn't forget me. They're trying to make me think I'm crazy. They are gaslighting me. Right here. Right now. The last bit of hope I had disappears. Something inside me shifts. The architect part of me takes over. The part that can read blueprints, figure out how walls hold up, and know exactly where to push to make a structure fall. I stop trying to explain my feelings. They don't care. They never have. Under the table, hidden by the white cloth, I take my phone out of my purse. My hands are steady. I scroll to the messages, the emails, the receipts. Every invitation I sent. Every response I never got. Every carefully written word that proves they lied. They didn't forget me. They chose to ignore me. I look up. Callista is still sitting there, smiling, waiting for me to cry or scream. I don't. I press a few buttons on my phone, and the screen lights up with all the evidence. I place the phone quietly on the table, making sure my parents see it. "This," I say, my voice steady and quiet, "is everything." I tap the screen, showing the emails, the invitations, the receipts. "You didn't forget. You didn't miss it. You ignored it. You lied. And now, you're trying to make me think I'm crazy in front of everyone." Serenella gasps. Her face turns white. Her hand shakes as it holds her wine glass. "Zeraphine, that's not fair," she says. "It's very fair," I reply. "I have proof. 8 months of proof. And I'm not going to let you rewrite history anymore." My dad's jaw tightens. Thaddeus Montgomery, the man who never lets anyone question him, doesn't say anything. He just stares at the phone, his face red. Callista's mouth opens. She tries to say something, but nothing comes out. Her perfect smile falters. For once, she doesn't have the words to win. Octavian Sterling leans back in his chair. He looks uncomfortable, but he doesn't interrupt. Alistair reaches for my hand under the table, giving me a small squeeze. It's the first time anyone here has been on my side all night. I stand up. The floor feels cold under my shoes. The firelight flickers across the room, lighting the shocked faces of my family. "I'm married," I say again, louder this time. "I've been married for 8 months. You didn't notice. You didn't care. And now you're trying to make me feel small. But I'm not small. I'm not second best. I'm not invisible." Serenella's face twists with anger. "You're ruining everything. This is my daughter's engagement party." "No," I say. "You've been ruining me my whole life. Tonight, I finally get to speak." I look around the table. The silverware sparkles, the chandelier sparkles, the firelight flickers, but I feel nothing but cold clarity. I am done hiding. I am done pretending. I pick up the phone and tuck it back in my purse. I lift the gift box, the one from Callista, holding it like a shield. "Thank you, Callista," I say again, calm. "It's perfect. I'll keep it very carefully." Her face twists with confusion. She doesn't understand that it isn't the gift that matters. It's me finally standing up. I take a deep breath. The chains of good daughters and second best and trying harder have fallen away. I am free. And in that room, with all the snow outside and all the lies inside, I finally feel strong. I pick up my phone and find the messages with Nate. My thumb moves fast. I type one word, now. I watch the screen. First, it says delivered. Then it changes to read. I put the phone down on my lap and picked up my fork again, stabbing a piece of green asparagus like nothing was wrong. I chew slowly, pretending this is just another normal day. Seraphine. My mom's voice is sharp now. The kind of voice that used to make me drop what I was doing and run to my old bedroom when I was a little girl. It's the kind of voice that can make the air feel heavier, like a storm is coming even when the sun is shining. Stop this nonsense and apologize to your sister, she says, her eyes looking at me in a way that makes me feel very small. For what? I ask, taking another bite of asparagus. I don't even taste it. Everything tastes like nothing right now. For getting married? For inviting your family to your wedding? I chew slowly, not understanding. Which part needs an apology? I ask, trying to keep my voice calm, but my chest is tight. Callista, my sister, has her eyes wide open. They shine with tears, but none of the tears have fallen yet. She's really good at this. She can keep her tears right on the edge, just catching the light so they look bright and shiny but never fall. I can't believe you would lie about something like this. On Christmas Eve, she says. Christmas Eve. I'm not lying, I answer. Then prove it, my dad snaps, his voice loud and sharp. I meet his eyes across the table. Octavian Sterling, the family lawyer, shifts in his chair. He looks uncomfortable, like he wishes he was anywhere else. Alistair, sitting next to Callista, goes very still. He's usually calm and alert, but now his lawyer brain is finally catching up to what his gut has been telling him. Something is very wrong. The chandelier above us catches the light on my wedding ring. I've been wearing it this whole time and nobody noticed. Not my mom, not my dad, not Callista, not Alistair, not Octavian. It's like they didn't see me at all. Dessert will be ready in 15 minutes, one of the catering staff announces from the doorway. They don't notice the tension in the room. The air is thick with it. It's like static electricity, prickly and sharp, making my skin tingle. My phone buzzes against my leg. I look down. A text from Nate, system accessed. Ready when you are. Anytime tonight. I glance up at the huge TV above the fireplace. It's showing a fake fire, crackling on the screen. It looks almost real. Actually, I say, standing up from the table, I think we should skip dessert tonight. I walk toward the TV. My heels click on the hardwood floor. There's something everyone needs to see, I say. Seraphine, sit down, my mom says, her voice sharp again, the same kind of voice that used to make me shrink when I was little. Not tonight, I say, stopping in front of the TV, my back to the room. You always believe Callista without question, I say, my voice calm and even. But have you forgotten what my husband does for a living? The room goes completely silent. I turn slowly to face them. Theron Vance, my husband, is sitting in our office in Austin, thousands of miles away. He is a senior cybersecurity analyst, which means he is a computer expert who protects companies from hackers. Serenella, my mom, opens her mouth. Then she closes it. Then she opens it again. I don't see what that has to do with anything. Don't you? She asks, her voice small. I take my phone out of my clutch and hold it up. 3 letters glow on the screen now. Sent 18 minutes ago. Delivered. The TV flickers. Callista's head snaps up. What are you doing? She says, her voice rising. The fake fire disappears. The screen goes black for exactly 2 seconds. Then it lights up again. This time, it is showing something completely different. A computer desktop. Blue background. Rows of folders lined up neatly. In the corner, small white letters say, Remote access activated. What is this? My dad says, his voice sharp. Turn that off. I designed the electrical system for this house. I smile a little, but my voice is pleasant, like I'm talking about the weather. Did you know you hired me right after I finished grad school? Paid me an exposure and family discounts? I installed every smart system, every camera, every sensor in this house. I turn back to the TV. The cursor starts moving on its own. Nate is working from our office in Austin. His fingers fly across the keyboard, moving so fast it's like magic. The admin password was never changed, I say. I recommend you change it. Remember? I sent that email. Twice. Octavian leans forward in his chair, his face caught between fascination and horror. Alistair stays perfectly still, thinking hard. This is illegal, Callista says, her voice panicked and high. No, it's not, I replied calmly. I'm the system administrator on record. I have full legal access. Nate is just helping me get my own files. Serenella stands up. Files? What files? She says, her voice higher now, nervous. The cursor moves on the screen. It hovers over a folder. The name makes Callista gasp. Project. Truth. When you said my career was just playing with plants, you forgot I'm an architect. I say softly. Architects plan ahead. We build things that last. My dad's face goes red. You had no right to put cameras in our home without telling us, he says. I told you. I gave you a 40-page manual. You signed off on everything. There's a camera at the front door, one at the side, and one covering the driveway. All disclosed. All legal. All recording to a professional NVR system in your wine cellar. What's an NVR system? Serenella asks softly, her voice almost a whisper. A network video recorder, I say. It's not cloud storage that deletes after 6 months. It's a physical hard drive. Professional grade. Keeps recordings for 2 years. I watch Callista's face turn pale. She's already figuring it out. She can do the math in her head. You're bluffing, she whispers. I turn back to the screen. The cursor hovers over the folder. Do you remember February 12th, Callista? I ask softly. Her cream-colored cashmere coat. The FedEx driver. 10:15 in the morning. Stop it, she cries, her voice rising. The package was blue. Inside were 4 velvet boxes wrapped in ivory ribbon. My wedding invitations. Alistair looks at Callista like he's seeing her for the first time in his life. Turn it off. Callista screams. Mom, make her turn it off. But Serenella is frozen. Her hand pressed to her throat. Her eyes are wide. It's too late. I hit enter on my phone. Nate opens the folder. The first thing on the screen is a FedEx receipt. The signature line says, ISA Callista Montgomery. Date and time clearly visible. The dining room explodes with shouting. But I just stand there, my phone in my hand, watching Callista's carefully built world start to fall apart. That's my signature, Callista says flatly. No hysteria. No tears. Just cold, controlled anger. So what? She asks. I signed for a package. That doesn't prove anything except I was home that day. Evidence 1. I say, keeping my voice calm. You signed for a package from Zeraphine and Nate Vance on February 12th. 3 weeks after our wedding invitations were sent via FedEx. Callista frowns. I don't remember every package I signed for. We get deliveries constantly. My brand sends dozens every week. Serenella sits up straighter. She's grasping at this explanation, trying to find a lifeline. Nate moves the cursor. The FedEx receipt disappears. Now the screen shows a screenshot of my mom's email inbox. Evidence 2, I say. The screen shows email filters. One has a red flag icon. It says wedding block. If the subject contains wedding and Zeraphine, delete permanently. The creation date is February 14th. The IP address traces back to Callista's iPhone. The room is silent. That's not possible, Serenella whispers. I never authorized that. You didn't. Callista has your password. She's had it for years. Remember when she set up 2-factor authentication last Christmas? She told you it was for security. Alistair stands slowly. His eyes are wide. He is staring at Callista like he can't believe what she did. You hacked into Mom's email? He asks, shocked. I didn't hack anything, Callista says. I have access because Mom asked me to help manage her emails, she explains. Mom gets overwhelmed. I manage her charity emails every week. Charity emails? Serenella says softly, confused. Yes, Callista says. I was deleting emails about your daughter's wedding to protect you. I didn't want you to be embarrassed. The room freezes. Callista's face changes from scared to angry. Tears fill her eyes, but now her voice shakes with righteous anger. You sent those invitations late, she says. For some shabby vineyard in Texas. Dad has high blood pressure. Mom worries about what people think. I saw the location you chose, Zeraphine. I was afraid. Afraid you'd make our parents embarrassed. Afraid they'd stress out. So yes, I hid the invitations. I threw them away. I was trying to protect our parents out of love. Serenella gasps. Callista's face is full of righteous anger. Her voice shakes, but it's not fear. It's anger. Zeraphine always does things her own way. She never thinks about how it makes the family look. I couldn't let anyone go through a bad wedding just because she refuses to follow the rules or care about other people. It was clever in a bad kind of way. She made herself look like a hero instead of a villain in just a few seconds. The mean thing she did, throwing away wedding invitations, suddenly became protective in her story. The lie she told became love. Alistair didn't believe it. I could see it on his face, the way his jaw got tight and his eyes narrowed. But my parents were already starting to believe her story. They wanted to believe it. They wanted to think she was trying to help. I didn't panic. I didn't get angry. I didn't let Callista see me fall apart. I just smiled. It wasn't a happy smile. It was the kind of smile you give a kid who tries to blame the dog when you can see the homework in the trash. It was full of pity, the kind that says, I see exactly what you did and I know why you're wrong. Protecting them, I said softly. That's your story? It's the truth, Callista said, lifting her chin proudly. Then why? I asked slowly, making each word count. Did you throw the invitations in the trash instead of hiding them somewhere safe? Callista blinked. What? If you were really protecting Mom and Dad, I continued, you would have hidden them somewhere safe. Somewhere you could get them back if your plan didn't work. You would have taken care of them carefully. But you didn't. Did you? Alistair turned to look at Callista. Really look at her. I was upset, Callista said quickly. I wasn't thinking clearly. That's interesting, I said, because the video shows you were thinking very clearly. I nodded to the screen. Nate clicked play. The video was so clear it was like watching a live movie. The front door camera caught everything. The time stamp read February 12th, 10:14 a.m. The FedEx truck pulled up. The driver climbed out, carrying a blue package. He rang the doorbell. Callista appeared 30 seconds later. She was wearing yoga pants and a cropped hoodie. Her hair was in a high ponytail. She smiled at the driver, signed the tablet, and took the package inside. She looked down at the box. She read the return address label. Zeraphine and Nate Vance. Her smile disappeared. Something cold and sharp replaced it. She didn't look worried. She didn't look protective. She looked furious. Callista glanced around, checking if anyone was watching. Then she walked to the side of the house where the recycling bins sat behind a decorative screen. She didn't hesitate. She didn't pause. She didn't open the package to check the contents. She just hurled it into the bin like she was throwing out trash. The 4 velvet boxes I had wrapped so carefully probably got crushed on impact. The invitations I had lettered by hand were likely bent and creased. She didn't look back. She wiped her hands on her pants and walked inside. The video ended. The dining room stayed silent. Even the fire in the hearth seemed to hold its breath. Alistair's face went blank. Carefully, deliberately blank. The expression of someone watching their whole future collapse. There's your protection, I said quietly. There's your love. The dining room stayed silent, like everyone was holding their breath. I watched Alistair's face cycle through emotions too fast to name. Confusion. Realization. Disgust. He stood up so abruptly that his chair scraped against the hardwood floor. The sound was so sharp it made my mother flinch. You threw your sister's wedding invitations in the trash? His voice was quiet, which somehow made it even worse. Because it wasn't loud, but it was full of anger and disbelief at the same time. Callista reached for his arm. Alistair. I can explain. He jerked away from her touch. You gave her a book about dying alone when you knew she was married? He stared at Callista like he was seeing her for the first time. Maybe he was. I cannot marry a monster. The word hung in the air. Callista's face crumpled. You don't understand. She's always. But Alistair was already moving. He pulled the engagement ring off her finger with such force, I was surprised the band didn't bend. The 3-carat diamond caught the chandelier light one last time before he placed it on the table. The click echoed like a gunshot. We're done, he said. My mother surged to her feet. Alistair. Don't be hasty. Callista made a mistake, but surely. A mistake. Alistair laughed, but it was harsh, mean, and full of disbelief. Mrs. Montgomery, your daughter committed major tampering. She sabotaged her own sister's wedding. She lied to my face for 8 months. I wanted to marry into a family with honesty. I was mistaken. Octavian Sterling rose beside his son, his expression carved from stone. He turned to my father, who hadn't moved from his seat. His face had gone the color of an old newspaper. Thaddeus, Octavian said, his voice heavy with 40 years of experience. I have always believed a man who cannot manage his household cannot manage a business. Your daughter is deceitful. He gestured toward Callista. Your wife enables her. And you are irresponsible. The merger project next month? Consider it cancelled. Sterling Group will not do business with the Montgomery family. The words landed on my father like physical blows. That merger was supposed to be his greatest achievement, the deal that would make his company twice as big. $50 million in contracts. Gone. Octavian, please. My father finally found his voice. We can discuss this privately. Surely. There's nothing to discuss. Octavian placed his hand on Alistair's shoulder. We're leaving. Callista exploded from her chair. This is your fault. You ruined everything. She whirled on me, her face twisted with rage. No, I said softly. The word stopped her mid-sentence. I have 2 million followers. I know Massachusetts law prohibits secret audio recording, I said calmly. So the video of you throwing the FedEx package? That is evidence of federal mail tampering. Title 18. United States Code. Section 1708. Up to 5 years in federal prison. If you tell a lie about me on social media, that video and a lawsuit go straight to the police and your brand sponsors. The color drained from Callista's face. She collapsed back into her chair. The sound she made was not quite a sob, not quite a scream. It was the sound of someone's carefully built world imploding. My mother sat frozen, hands clutched in her lap. My father stared at the table like the wood grain could tell him what to do. I reached for the cream-colored gift box, the one containing the Cruel app membership, and that mean book. I picked it up with both hands and walked around the table. Callista flinched like I might hit her. I placed the box directly in front of her, next to Alistair's abandoned engagement ring. Keep it, I said. You need it more than I do now. The words tasted like freedom. I turned toward Octavian. Alistair was already in the foyer, collecting their coats. As I passed him, he gave me a single nod. Respect, maybe. Approval, maybe. It didn't matter. Behind me, I heard my mother's voice, thin and desperate. Seraphine, wait. We can fix this. We can. But I was already walking. Through the foyer, past the marble staircase where Callista and I posed for Christmas photos as children, past the massive oak doors that closed behind me with a final, definitive thud. The December air hit my face like cold water. Clean. Sharp. Real. My Uber was waiting at the bottom of the circular drive, exhaust puffing white in the freezing air. I climbed into the back seat, and the driver glanced at me in the rearview mirror. Logan Airport, I confirmed. As we pulled away, I allowed myself one look back at the Montgomery estate. Every window blazed with light, but from here it looked empty. A beautiful shell with nothing living inside. I pulled out my phone and video called Nate. His face filled the screen. His hair was messy, like he had been running his hands through it. His eyes searched mine. Is it done? He asked. It's done. Mom was heating soup for me. His smile was soft, warm, everything that house wasn't. Let's go home. Home, I said. Not the place I was born, but the place where I was loved. 3 days later, I was unpacking groceries in our kitchen in Austin when the FedEx truck pulled up. Through the window, I watched the driver jog to the porch, scan a package, and jog back. The box sat there on the welcome mat, square and flat. I knew what it was before I opened it. I could practically smell my father's desperation through the cardboard. Inside was a check. $50,000. The number seemed huge, written in my father's careful, neat handwriting. The note was brief, typed on his business letterhead. I'm sorry. Please stay silent about the contract. I stood there in my kitchen, holding $50,000, and I thought about the girl who would have taken this money. The one who showed up on Christmas Eve still hoping, the one who saved their chairs at her wedding. She was gone. I tore the check in half, then into quarters, then into tiny pieces like confetti. My phone was already in my hand. I arranged the pieces on the granite counter and photographed them. I opened the family group chat. 3 people, Mom, Dad, Callista. I typed, I don't sell my silence. I'm giving it to you for free. Do not contact me again. My thumb hovered over the send button for a few seconds. Then I pressed it. Delivered. Then read. Someone started typing, stopped, started again. I didn't wait to see what they would say. I scrolled to the top of the chat, tapped the settings icon, and found the words I'd been looking for. Leave group. Are you sure? Yes. I had never been more sure of anything. I left. New Year's Eve arrived, wrapped in Seattle rain and the smell of Meredith's famous pot roast. Nate's family crowded into their living room, laughing, arguing about what movie to watch before the countdown. His sister stole the remote. His nephew spilled grape juice on the carpet. His mother hugged me tight, and I felt the weight of the sapphire brooch on her coat pressing against my shoulder. Real. Solid. An actual heirloom passed down with love instead of obligation. Come on, Nate said, taking my hand. Let's get some air before the fireworks. We stepped onto the back porch. The Space Needle glowed in the distance, and the city hummed with celebration. Nate wrapped his arm around my waist, and I leaned into him, breathing in rain, cedar, and freedom. Any regrets? He asked quietly. I thought about the empty chairs, the hidden invitations, the cruel gift, the torn check. Not one. The first firework exploded overhead. Gold sparks against the black sky. Nate's family cheered from inside, pulling each other into hugs. I was not the Montgomery daughter anymore. I was Zeraphine Vance, architect of landscapes and now, finally, architect of my own life.